Me and Pedro are comedians ourselves. Um,
And
so
there
we're gonna
we
have
go.
some. Yeah. So what's up, Pedro? What's up, man?
We are live on Rumble, and I just had a pretty nice meal. I'm in France, and I want to die.
You know what, man? You're in a good country. You're in a good country.
C'est un pays sans Dieu, Rolando, où vraiment ne comprend pas les choses pour lesquelles il doit à travers, pour lesquelles il doit traverser.
Yeah. For those that are watching, Pedro is in France. He's a EU simp, and I am from the great American nation. I am a proud patriot, and I did not go to January 6th, so that kind of makes me a hypocrite. So I should have though. I should have.
Wait a second. Okay, I'm sorry. This is a quick, French. Crosser? Merde. For those who don't know, it's because I'm also using like what is it called? A travesseur. Okay. I'm using a VPN, so my internet is
What
a
does that
little bit.
mean?
For those who don't know, Rumble is actually banned in France.
Yeah, we're joining. We're live on Rumble as well. So if you'd like to support us on Rumble, you can maybe I can link my link to TikTok. But either way, let's get into it. Pedro,
Yes. So,
what was your thoughts?
on what?
So
Hello?
I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So did you see the debate of Joe Rogan on Joe Rogan with Douglas and Dave Smith?
No, but I'm gonna look for it.
Well, I have it. I have it. And it should be like 7 minutes long. It's the shorter one. It's going to
Dave
be
Smith.
specifically about
Dave Smith against who?
Douglas Murray.
Uh,
You remember Douglas Murray, right?
bro, it's been a while.
He's like he's like the Christopher Hitch. He's like the modern Christopher Hitchens, but just gay.
Oh, okay, okay,
Oh,
okay.
sorry. He just yeah. He yeah.
Douglas Murray and Dave Smith debate over Israel-Hamas conflict and blockade. Is that the one?
Yes. So yeah. So they're gonna debate. We're gonna watch a little bit of the debate, and well, first of all, do you stand with Palestine or do you stand with Israel?
Honestly, I don't care that much.
For those in the chat, we have okay. Well, we have 34 people on TikTok. Um, Let us know in the comment section. Are you pro I or pro P?
Bro,
Pedro,
I don't
what's your
really care
stance?
for either side. It's like, you know, if you ask me, Jews are just people who have yet to accept Christ as their savior. And I'm not also like that fond of like. Whereas I'm still like not very fond of the idea of like an Islamic republic, of like the creation of another Muslim state. So overall, I will actually say that I'm pretty neutral to it. Maybe more towards like Israel, but Israel is also like a jackass sometimes. But like they do commit war crimes and they do like engage in colonialism in the West Bank.
Yeah, it's as if neither Jerusalem won't see peace unless there happens to be some sort of um there's got to be some sort of commerce and trade that comes out of those two places where they Joe Rogan has been corrupted by Trump. Sad weasel. All right, thanks for the comment, man. Um, um, it
Well,
seems
here,
like Jerusalem is going to be fought by Islamic um, expansionism and Christian expansionism. In which case, this is going to be a fight between Iran and America. That seems to me the case, you know.
I mean, my opinion, kind of like developing more about how I say things, is that I mean there was in fact like a treaty that was allowing like people from Gaza to like get a visa to like work in Israel, but that obviously got interrupted with the whole October 7 attack. And it's part of the reason why I don't really care too much about like the Palestinians. Or like, okay, I do care for like the innocent ones because, you know, they're kind of like stuck in the crossfire.
I was
But
like, damn, bro, that's kind of heavy.
yeah, but at the end of the day, is that you do have to consider that one, Palestine was actually offered its own statehood for like 5 times throughout history since like the foundation of Israel. Israel has accepted it, but Palestine has always rejected it. And also like this particular war, okay, like what is going on right now, the whole war actually pretty much started like with October 7th. But now as Israel, if I'm not mistaken, I have not been able to update very well on like the conflict. It seems like Israel is the one that actually broke like the ceasefire this time. Also with like the action that they've committed like in Syria too, which is pretty interesting.
Okay, so you know, I myself am pretty indifferent to the conflict as well. But I do like to, you know, it's not my favorite region. I'm more of a Eastern Europe guy. You know, I'm more of a Ukraine Russia guy. So we're just gonna listen to a little bit, man. Maybe like a few 2 minutes every now and then we'll just talk a little bit, watch a little bit, and talk a little bit.
It's a good.
Joe Rogan Experience.
And I think that people have been indoctrinated by very bad actors into this, and as a result have excused atrocities or will make excuses for them, make excuses for the people who do them. I think, in addition, it plays to some of the darkest things of the regional mind as well as the international mind. The aims of Hamas, their stated aims, include the annihilation of the Jewish people. And October the 7th, they had their best go at doing that. And the fact that in a decision between whether or not you're on the side of the people who want to dance and live in peace with their neighbors, or whether you're on the side of the people who want to rampage through a dance party bar in the early morning, macheteing at people, I find it amazing that there are so many people who don't know which side they're on. But there are a lot of them. There are a lot of reasons for that. But one of the foremost reasons is the fact that the state of Israel has been uniquely libeled, has been uniquely lied about. Its history has been uniquely lied about. It has been uniquely put under an international spotlight and then misrepresented in a way which I cannot think of many other countries in the world that have been treated that way. And there are deep reasons for it and shallow reasons for it. The deep reasons include some of the most ancient bigotries of the human heart, and the shallow reasons are people who don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Okay, I think that look, I'm not going to speak for what every person out there believes. I don't exactly agree with like the characterization that there was no outpouring of like feeling after October 7th. And certainly like everybody I know was just like, oh my God, this is like a horrific atrocity. And like an unprecedented terrorist attack from Hamas, the worst terrorist attack in Israeli history against Israelis. And it was horrible. I think what a lot of I'm not arguing that there are no people who are actually pro-Hamas or there are no people who are actually like hate Jews or something like that. I do think that what happens is that a lot of people get put in that category who do not belong there. Much like we've seen this over the last year and a half, where a lot of people, you have John Podhoretz calling Thomas Massie anti-Semitic scum because he said, we're dead broke. We can't afford to fund everybody else's war here. People have been calling Tucker Carlson anti-Semitic all over the place. When these are two guys, Thomas Massey and Tucker Carlson, who have never uttered the words "the Jews" in their life. Like they're just not anti-Semites at all. So there's a lot of people, I think, who are when they're critical of the Israeli government's response to this, get lumped in as pro-Hamas. I will certainly say that's certainly not my position. I think your description of them, death cult, by the way, the same term that Daryl Cooper used to describe Hamas, I think is an accurate one. And it was horrible. But I think that I think that your characterization, first of all, of that they gave the Palestinians a state in 2005 is just wrong. I just think that is not at all an accurate way to describe the disengagement, which we could get into more if you want to. But first of all, I would just point out that if the two-state solution was achieved, I assume you're arguing it was taken away after that. You're not still arguing that the Palestinians have a state, or are you saying they have had a state since 2005?
They were given a state in the Gaza.
And when was it taken away?
Well, they kind of screwed it up for themselves on the 7th of October.
So you're saying from 2005 all the way till October 7th, there was a two-state solution. It had been achieved.
Well, it was another state, yeah.
Oh, okay, but that would be two states then.
No, it
would
was
be
another state. It was different from the PA.
Okay, right, but I'm saying a Palestinian state.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's interesting about that is that this is not how any of the leaders really describe it. I mean, when Netanyahu himself is not claiming that they had already achieved a two-state solution, why are you talking about this? What happened in 2005 in the disengagement was that essentially Israel went from occupying the place to surrounding the place. And they've had it under a brutal blockade since 2007. And yes, you were right that it was...
Why do you... I don't agree the blockade was brutal by any means.
You don't think the blockade of Gaza was brutal?
I mean, how brutal do you think the Egyptians are?
Pretty brutal. Yeah.
They allowed stuff in.
Okay. I mean, since some stuff has gotten in, yes, that's true.
More than some stuff.
Okay.
More than some stuff.
Okay. I'll say this, right, because there's been different levels of blockade, even before 2007, going back. I know in 1996... they had like a pretty strong blockade that year. According to the World Bank, it contracted 40% of the GDP of Gaza. So just for,
Shout out to those on Rumble.
For
Shout out to
reference,
those on Rumble.
the Great Depression was a 30% contraction. This was in 1996. For 1 year, they gave them something worse than our Great Depression. That was just 1 year. From 2007 on, there's been a blockade of that country. You don't think that's kept the country poor?
Why do you think there's a blockade of any kind?
Why is there a blockade? Well, I mean, the argument from Israel would be...
No, why do you think?
I would say, okay, I think that the disengagement, I think Smotrich was correct when he said... I'm sorry, my mistake there. I think which another quote that I'm sure you're familiar with, but Dov Weissklaff, who was the senior advisor to Sharon, who was the prime minister at the time, he essentially said, the reason we're doing the disengagement, the reason we're doing this, is so that we can put the peace process in formaldehyde. This is the reason we're doing it.
You're not answering my question. You're continuing to cite very right-wing Israeli politicians. But what do you think is the reason?
I'm getting there. I'm saying, so I think they disengaged in order to kill the peace process. I think they put the full blockade around the country for the reason that they've always kind of done it there, that, yeah, they don't want too much stuff getting in. They want to keep them, as they put it, on a diet, and they don't want rockets to fly into Israel.
The second one is a kind of important one, isn't it? The final one you said.
Yeah, it is.
If the Palestinian leadership in Gaza after 2005 had not from the get-go decided to use Gaza as a stockpiling place for rockets to fire into Israel, all of it would be different. If they had just resisted the temptation that so many of us do in our lives to stop keeping RPGs in our cellars and then Katyusha rockets in our children's bedrooms, all of it could have been different. If that desire to live in peace beside your neighbors had superseded the desire to stockpile rockets, it would all be different.
Yeah, or if Israel just hadn't occupied them for 60 years, it would all be different too.
They weren't
why is it the onus always on them?
Well, you believe in self-determination, I'm sure. Yes.
I believe in individual rights, yeah, sure.
Okay, individual rights. And that includes the right to make bad decisions. Sure. Yes. The Palestinians in Gaza, when they voted in Hamas, made a very bad decision.
Yeah, of course,
and
Douglas.
In the years, hang on. And in the years after that, they made bad decision after bad decision. It was a very bad decision to continually fire thousands of rockets into Israel. It was a very bad decision to use what boats came in early on and to use the smuggling networks from Egypt, not to bring in supplies you could actually build a thriving society with, but to bring in rockets. It was a very bad idea. No, there was not starvation in Gaza after 2005. No, there was no deficit of goods coming in. I've been plenty of
There was
times.
no deficit?
No, there are
No
plenty
goods were
of-
kept out?
There are plenty. How many? Have you been to the crossing points?
No,
When were you last there at all?
I've never been.
You've never been.
Well, am I not allowed to talk about it now? I've never been to. Have you ever been to Nazi Germany? Are you allowed to have feelings about them?
You can't time travel, but you
Well,
can.
right.
But you can travel.
Okay, but so what? So what's the point? Like,
No,
okay.
I find that
Lots
very...
of people have been there and agree with me, and lots of people have been there and agree with you.
Yeah, but
so I
if
don't
you're
know
going
what
to
the.
spend a year and a half talking about a place, you should at least do the courtesy of visiting it.
All right. I just think this is a non-argument.
You don't
but
think?
Okay. No, I think it's a non-argument.
But if you're an ex,
Well, you have to go and touch the ground. To
no,
be
I
able
think
talk
you have
about
to
it?
see. I think it's a good idea to see
Right,
stuff,
but
particularly if you
okay.
spend a
Can you
career
pause it?
talking about something.
Okay, there we go. That's the fucking. So, what is your opinion, Orlando, on everything that I just said?
Uh, I like Dave Smith, man. I really do. I think he's a really good. I think Douglas Murray is witty. I think he's like I said, I think he's the gay Christopher Hitchens, you know. But I just I don't know, man. There's something about his tone, you know. There's something about his sassiness that kind of makes me question a little bit his authenticity when it comes to the conflict. But you know, I'm interested. You know, he questioned Dave Smith about, you know, whether he visited Palestine or not. I'm pretty sure he did as well, Douglas Murray, and I know he went to Ukraine with Ukrainian troops. But I mean, still, you know, like that doesn't. You're not the king of the chessboard just because you've been to a conflict, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I do say that when focusing on like the arguments that are actually being made, it's that one thing that I do fundamentally agree with Murray is that if there is actually a reality to like the fact that Hamas has not only been a negative element for like the Israelites, it's also been pretty negative for their own people who live in Gaza. Because if you ask me, I do believe that if Hamas were to surrender today, like a non-conditional surrender, non-conditional capitulation, then yeah, I do believe that that could actually be like the key towards like the prosperity of like the people of Gaza. But instead, a lot of times, for example, like even like foreign aid, like the one from the UN UNRWA, the UNRAW, which is uh, the UN Commission for like the Palestinian refugees, and also like other aid that actually goes there, oftentimes does get used in order to purchase like weaponry instead of using it in order to like invest in the social basis of like the people of Palestine. This is where I say that I do believe that I do feel bad for like the people of Palestine, especially like the innocent ones. And I do feel, that Israel is not innocent at all. Like there are actually footages in which they have committed war crimes. They do that expansionism of the West Bank, but I do need to say like this hell, like the hell that the Palestinians are going through is a self-created one.
Okay. All right. That's yeah, sure. That can be that's a heavy opinion, you know, for sure. It's kind of the thing that you don't want to hear, you know, for sure.
Oh,
Um
if I say that in
I s-
public, especially here in Chambéry, this shit is a very left wing city, like university city, I will probably get crucified. So, je serai crucifié pour la France de
oh
Chambéry.
dude, you would enter the heavens, you know. You'd be the greatest martyr there was, you know. So
Dude, I don't want to get martyred for
the
fucking.
the
I don't want to
the
get martyred
old
for the Jews.
bro, yo man, do you have YouTube still up?
Yes, it is here. You want to finish the video?
No, no. Can you exit out of it
Yeah, sure.
for now? For
There we
now, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
go. All right.
So, you know, we're gonna move on from Joe Rogan. We're gonna get into the good old news, and we're just gonna look around and see what we like.
Ah, bro, I just think that we. I just hope that we.
And yeah, man. So I think what'd you say?
I was gonna say, like I think we should just skip to World War III. Like I'm tired. Let's just fucking do it. I don't want to go to work on Monday.
What'd you say?
I'm saying that we should skip to World War III. I don't want to go to work on Monday.
Oh, dude, that is funny. That is funny. Um, if we so right here it says that Trump trade team chases 90 deals in 90 days. Experts say good luck with that. Um, China retaliates against Trump's trade war, prompting flight from U.S. assets. Um, Trump's envoys embrace of Russian demands war's republic. U.S. allies. Oh, here's a good one. Iran, U.S. and high-level talks in Oman agreed to resume next week.
I mean, bro, like what? I
Oh,
will.
dude, this is a good story.
Ah, fuck me, dude. That is fucked up. I don't know if I can even talk about that. Like, can we actually avoid that topic? Because I do want to like move to America. Or you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna. I think Trump is totally right. Fuck that guy. USA, USA, USA.
USA, USA. Hey, man, you better say that. You better say that.
Bro, I have to.
Because they're going to come looking for me and asking me, like, hey, how's this homie doing? You know, what does he like to do? I'll be like, hey,
Bro, if they deport me, I'm taking you with me.
friend, you can't. He's a good guy. Trump 2024. You know what, man? If they were to deport us, I'd say at least take us to not Syria. You know, we look a little bit Arabic, so I say don't take us to Syria at all.
I mean, I get deported to Spain, but you get deported to. I don't know. Where would you get deported? Mexico?
But so do you hear about that Columbia student Khalil and his deportation?
Man, I think that the internet's not very good, actually.
I would like to be
Shit.
well. Can you hear me right now?
Um, I'm gonna say one. Say one. Shit. Yeah, well, there is a little bit of a.
You you can you can hear me, right?
There's a little bit of a lag going on. I wonder if I decided to like eliminate it.
How does the stream look? The stream on my side looks pretty.
I'm gonna try to eliminate. There we go. I think it should be fine.
The stream looks good though.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it all
I don't
good?
know how it looks on your end.
It's just laggy. Like, let's see. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. I just had to like deactivate the VPN because the VPN does tend to like slow down the internet. But is the Rumble stream still going on?
Okay, cool. So long as it's still going, we're good, man.
But
On
the-
TikTok, it's going well.
Can you verify that the Rumble stream is going on?
Yeah. Let me verify real quick. Hold up.
Hey.
All right, tell me some shit, man. While I look up Rumble, tell me some shit.
Listen, man. I cannot give an opinion. I want to move to America because I love America. America's number one. We love America. USA, USA. Like Trump is already.
USA liberated the French.
I'm just saying, man. Like, if I need to start, like, singing the Star Spangled Banner and I don't know, carry the American flag around here, fuck it, I'll do it. I don't care.
Hey, man, I do that. I do that for my Friday nights. You know, I go out downtown, I put on a Trump hat, and I wave the American flag. And I get beat up a few times, but
Yeah, you deserve to get beat up because you're a liar. We both know that you want Mexico to conquer the states.
Yo, man, I think that would be the most terrible idea ever. First of all, I don't like to pay in pesos, man.
Hey, man, you're the one who's always like simping for Shiba.
You know what, man? Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, man. You know, Israel took a little bit of Palestine. Mexico got the first female president, right? That's why they voted for her because she was a female, sure. But that's the lie that Mexico tells itself. They're like, "Hey, we voted for the first female president." It's like, sure you did.
Are we sure though? Have we verified that information?
Well, Mexico certainly thinks that they voted in a female president, but we all know why they put her in.
But are we sure that she's female?
Oh, she's definitely, you know, she I know she is. Yeah. The streaming on Rumble is going good, bro.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's still going.
Let's watch this deportation case then.
The which one?
The deportation case that you're talking about the
Oh
Columbia
yeah.
student.
Yeah. So, judge rules Mahmoud Khalil can be deported. So this is the homie that's been, doing the pro-Palestinian protests on Columbia at Columbia University. Um, so it's nothing new, right? Nothing new.
Ugh. Thing is, I am like generally like scared of like giving my opinion because at one moment I do actually want to immigrate to the United States, Like, and it is generally like frightening, like what is going on in that regard in here. So I'm gonna just like avoid like, talking about this.
Yeah.
But you can go ahead.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to the Ukraine war.
That's better. Yeah.
we could let's move on to the Ukraine war. That's better. Yeah. We don't want to have no ICE agent. I'd be like, hey man, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Bro. I mean,
Dude, that's so crazy. That's so crazy that I have not heard not much from Ukraine unless you're in the insider news.
I think the internet is just a little bit slow right now.
AP News, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yo, man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you? Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
Okay, like I think it's just
So
I think it's just very laggy.
we're gonna. Okay, cool, cool. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Trump on- okay. On my end or your end?
I just think like the connection, you know, like whenever I speak, it probably arrives to you pretty late, and whenever you speak, it arrives to me late too.
I see. Okay. Okay. Um, maybe end the stream on Rumble on your end, maybe?
All right.
Just because there's more viewers on TikTok right now than there is on Rumble.
There we go.